Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy again, Mclinn, and this is the second video in the line of videos we're talking about universal laws, the laws of the universe. The first video we talked about the law of mentalism. So if you haven't seen that video, check the link in the description, click on it, watch it, have an understanding before you come on to this one, because we're moving on. As a quick review, the first law of the universe is the law of mentalism. We talked about it being an immutable law, which means you can't do anything about it. Okay? You can just accept it, learn to master it, be meticulous, embrace it, and adjust accordingly. So the first three laws of the universe are immutable. The law of mentalism being one. Today we're talking about the second law of the universe, which is the law of correspondence. Okay? Write that down. The law of correspondence. The law of correspondence is an immutable law, like we just said. The second of the 7 universal laws that tells us, as above, so below. As below, so above. This is what that means. This means that there is harmony, agreement, and correspondence between the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. There is no separation, since everything in the universe, including you, originates from the one source. The same pattern is expressed on all planes of existence, from the smallest electron to the largest star, and vice versa. All is one. The ancient Greek temple of Apollo at Delphi was referring to this great law of correspondence, and the inscription, "Know thyself, and thou shalt know all the mysteries of the gods and the universe." Okay, I know that gets a little airy-fairy, okay, but making it layman's, making it simple. Whatever's going on inside of me, whatever my beliefs are, whatever my perceptions are, whatever thoughts that I'm carrying around, will be reflected in my outer world. Okay? So in essence, I'm thinking of an even simpler way of putting it. Every encounter that you have is like a mirror reflection of yourself. Okay? Here's an example. Well, first of all, before we get to that, harmony, agreement, and correspondence. So what does correspondence mean? To correspond means to match or agree exactly. Right? So that's what we just talked about, what I just said. So whatever I'm saying on the outside matches what's going on the inside. So now you just have to figure out, where is it coming from first? Because am I controlling my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to project into my outer world what's going on inside of me? Or is the outer world, the environment, telling me how to feel, and in turn reflecting it back to me? Hopefully that makes sense. Follow me. So if I turn on the TV and I see images of murder, death, kill all day long, right? It's going to start to affect how I feel about, one, myself, the people that I interact with, situations, circumstances, and then two, I'm going to start to give off that energy, and it will be reflected back to me. Okay, so all of these laws are interconnected. I know sometimes they sound a little similar, because the law of mentalism is my thoughts become things, which those things become my reality. Right? So then now we're kind of getting a little more intricate in, where does it come from initially? Right? So as a baby, we come here full, clean slate, 100% love, pure kingdom consciousness, right? And then we start to be downloaded or programmed with things that are coming from our environment. So be it our parents, siblings, teachers, the neighborhood, whatever that is, whatever you were dealing with as a child started to program you to start to formulate your thoughts and beliefs about the world and yourself. So if, and I use money a lot, but it could be money, it could be trust, it could be your feelings about anything. But Money is a simple one for people to grasp. So if you grew up in an environment where money was hard to come by, and your parents constantly made comments about money don't grow on trees, and you saw, your parents struggling to acquire or to provide, right? That will start to leave a lasting effect on you. It will become a part of your belief system, and you will grow up reflecting that out into the world, right? So like I said, if I turn on the TV and I see the news telling me that, a certain country or a certain culture or a certain religion is evil or negative or bad, and I believe it because I want to believe that the news is telling me the truth and that the people that are in authority have my best interests at heart, then I will implant those seeds into my thinking and my thought system, and then I will begin to output it into the world, and the world will just reflect it back to me. Where some of us think that, well, no, it's happening and then it's causing me to feel a certain way. And I'm going, it's the reverse. It's starting inside of you, and then you're regurgitating it back out into your reality. Okay? Here's another example. I was somebody who fully believed that the world was a very negative place, right? Because I was allowing the TV, the radio, videos, all the images that I saw, my neighborhood, things that I considered negative behavior. Like, I took that as a reflection of that's what this world is. So the universe is neutral. It will confirm whatever my belief system is. So that's what I started to see. I started to see, untrustworthy people, and I believed that it wasn't me, it was them. Right? So I didn't really correct that for myself totally until maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I traveled to the Honduras, and I was walking through a rainforest with a bushman, and he was explaining to me, the forest and the jungle that we were walking through. And it was a tropical day, so it was raining sometimes, it was hot sometimes, and we're walking through this forest, and he's explaining to me, watch out for that tree because that's poison ivy, but if the poison ivy happens to get on you, this tree right here is the remedy for that tree. And I was like, it's interesting. Then he goes, see that plant right there? You can feel it. It feels like a Brillo pad. You can actually scrub and clean pots with that. Okay, see that plant right there? Here, eat that. Eat it. I'm like, dude, I'm not eating no plant. He goes, no, trust me, eat it. So I'm eating it, and it tastes like mint. He goes, if you ever get caught without your toothbrush, you can eat that. It'll clean your teeth. Interesting. Keep walking. He comes over to another tree, and he goes, here, see these ants right here? Eat some of these. I'm like, I'm not eating no ants, man. He goes, no, try it. It's protein. If you ever get hungry, this particular tree, so I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, the feeling of balance came over me. Like, for everything that could be deemed negative, there was something positive to offset it. And I remember after we walked through this forest, that I thought to myself, I was like, wow, if this is what's happening right here, and I'm saying I believe in the law of correspondence, which is as above, so below as above. So if this force is in perfect balance, by law, that means the world is in perfect balance. I'm in perfect balance. So then it was like, okay, well, then what am I going to choose to focus on? What is going to be my focus point of attraction or of attention? Now, this is key. Because we see a lot in the news today about trying to rid ourselves of negativity. The war on drugs, the war on terror. It's just fight against. And when I left the Honduras, I was like, wow, I've really been going at things an ineffective way. I'm not saying it's wrong, because you're supposed to be allowed to activate and communicate right where you are. So people that fight against those kind of things, I don't tell them not to. I'm just going, that's not effective for me. So what is going to be my point of attraction or of attention? So if on the left side, which is the light and love, you have positivity. On the right side, you have darkness or evil or negativity, right? Those are poles that are in fixed position. They're there, they're necessary to balance out the world. Okay, they can't move. The only thing that can move is you. You're mobile in the middle. Okay? On the left is light and love. On the right is darkness and evil. And then you're in the middle. So whatever I'm giving my attention to is what's going to have life. So if I focused on positivity, then we're talking about universal laws, law of attraction, law of mentalism, then we're saying whatever my focus is, and this becomes a part of me and becomes my belief system, then I will only attract more of that. Now, the same holds true the other way. If my focus point or my focus of attention is on negativity or darkness or evil or lack or scarcity, then that will become my reality. Those will be the seeds that are planted, and I will project because I'm giving it attention, so it will, by law, become my reality. So, I'm here. Now, if we're not, there was a time I wasn't aware of this, so my attention could be pulled in either direction because I didn't know I was in control of my focus point. I thought it was the external world that was supposed to tell me what to think and what to feel. And in essence, I was a victim. I allowed myself to be a victim. I don't beat myself up about it because I didn't know any better. But like Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you can do better. Okay? Now I know better. So I have to develop control of my focus point of attention. What am I going to pay attention to? Paying attention is the most inexpensive thing that we can do, but how many of us actually pay attention? Okay? Am I going to focus on the love in the world, or am I going to focus on the hate in the world? Right? The choice is yours. The more I focus to the left, the more of that I'm going to see. Love, light, abundance, opportunity, healthy relationships. Then that's what I'm going to see. If I focus in the other direction, that's what I'm going to see as well. Okay? Now, taking it a step further. If my inner world is being projected into my outer world, then by law, understanding these poles and polarity and light and darkness, then, and I can only attract what I am, then I need to become what I want to see first. So it would be easy if I looked at somebody who was behaving a certain way and said, man, if they would just change their behavior, I could feel better. And I'm like, I can't really control what that other person's going to do or that situation is going to do. Excuse me, I can't control me. So if I want to see more love in the world, I have to become more loving. If I want to see more trust in the world, I have to become more trusting. If I want to see more generosity, more gratitude, more of anything, I have to become it first. Right? I can't wait. And that was the mistake that I used to make. I'm going to wait for the other person to show it to me first, and then I'll do it. Right? Not anymore. I just strive every single day to become a better version of me based on who I'm going to identify with and pay my attention to, which is love, light, abundance, opportunity, which is our birthright. It's who we are. We came here as the image and likeness of God. It is not up to you who you are. That's who you are. That's your birthright. But it is up to you who you say you are. So I'm going to identify to that which I am. Sorry, phone call. I'm going to identify to that which I am. which is love, light, abundance, opportunity, praise, worship, generosity, gratitude, loyalty, honesty, trust, like all of those positive attributes, I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to become more of that, and then I will see that in the world. Okay, I hope you guys are following this. The law of correspondence, we're going to read it again. The second law of the seven universal laws tells us, as above, so below, as below, so above. This means that there is harmony, agreement, and correspondence. We define correspondence as the match or exactly like the thing that it's corresponding to. So to match or agree with exactly. Between the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. There's no separation, since everything in the universe, including you, originates from the one source. That's what we're talking about. You are the image and likeness of God in physical form. The same pattern is expressed on all planes of existence, from the smallest electron to the largest star and vice versa. All is one. The ancient Greek temple of Apollo at Delphi was referring to this great law of correspondence in the inscription, "Know thyself, and thou shalt know all the mysteries of the gods and the universe." Okay. Have a little bit more for you. And some of this we already talked about. This concept can be very hard for some people to understand. Most people want to blame everyone else for their lives. Hey, I was guilty of it. But the truth is, you and you alone create your world. If you have crappy friends, it's because deep down you believe those are the friends you deserve, and you too are probably a crappy friend. If this hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, but it is the cold, hard facts. Okay? I talk to people all day long, and it is a really tough one for people to accept. That whatever is in front of you, you attracted it to you. You created it. Right? The law of correspondence, basically another way of putting it is that everything is connected. Right? Life moves in a circle. Right? I was the king of compartmentalizing. Right? Compartmentalize means to divide things into sections. Right? So I would put, career in a box, family in a box, relationships in a box, finances in a box, friends in a box, right? And I would separate because in my mind it was easier to do. I wasn't aware that that's actually a defense mechanism, right? Because what some of these other areas, maybe my personal relationships, don't feel so good. I'm not doing such a good job. So let me stick that over here and I'll get to that later. Let me focus where I'm good at already, where I'm comfortable. And what I understand is that it's all connected. So the one thing that might be holding me back in my personal relationship could be the very thing that opens the floodgates in my professional relationships or my professional career. Right? It's tough to accept, but I had a buddy explain it to me one time, and he said I was complaining about not being able to sustain a relationship. And he asked me, and I'm not going to bore you with the whole story, but in long story short, he said, whatever it is that you're good at, right? And I come from sports, so there was a time I was really good at basketball. And he said, how much effort and time have you put in mastering basketball? And I said, man, too many hours to recollect. He said, how many hours or training or studying or courses or books or workshops or seminars have you put into being in a healthy relationship? I was like, none. He was like, how in the hell do you expect to be in a healthy relationship when you don't know how? Right? So that's what we do. Right? We compartmentalize because there's areas that we're weak in that we don't really want to deal with. So we focus on the areas that come easy to us. Right? My area of weakness was relationships because I never learned how to do it. My examples weren't very good. So family relationships, I'm watching, celebrity relationships we're watching, images from movies and TV shows we're watching, and all of them are dysfunctional. So it goes by nature that I wouldn't successfully be able to be in one for any long-term period of time. And what I understand now is all of those relationships that I was in, I attracted. They were the antithesis of me. So if I'm somebody who didn't feel worthy or didn't know my value, then I could only be with somebody who wasn't going to show me my worth or my value. Right? Because it has to be a match. If I knew my worth and my value on the inside, I would project that into my reality, and I can only attract somebody who knows my worth. Or if somebody that doesn't know my worth came into my existence, then I wouldn't give it any attention. Because I would understand that, hey, there's something going on with me if I attracted that person to me. If I stay here with this person, then I'm saying the way they're treating me is okay. Then you know what? I need to do some more work on myself. Okay? The law of correspondence. It's all connected. As above, so below. Life moves in a circle. Okay? I'm hoping this really makes sense. This could be a breakthrough for somebody. I know it was a breakthrough for me. The world is actually a very perfect, balanced place with equal amounts of positive and negative. We need them both. Right? We're not going to ever rid the world of negativity because the world would be unbalanced. What we have to do is understand that we control our focus point of attention. I used to be somebody, like I said, that thought the world was negative because I was caught up in the images that I was seeing. I didn't realize I was in control of that. I didn't understand that I needed to stand guard of and protect my mind from things that came into it. Some of us are really loose with what we allow to come into our brains. Stand guard. Be the bodyguard of your mind. Don't allow frivolous stuff in there. Okay? Focus on positivity, because the more you become it, the more you'll see it. Your inner world will always reflect your outer world, and vice versa. You're responsible. Don't be a victim. Don't blame. Understand that you're in control and you can control how you feel. Right? To some of us, it's new, so it's a muscle you have to develop. You have to develop the muscle. You have to practice it to become good at it, controlling how you feel the way you're good at whatever it is that you're good at. Okay? Don't let this discourage you. Be encouraged that you actually have more power than you think you do. So for me, I stopped watching the news because it was affecting how I felt. I stopped listening to certain kind of music because it affected how I felt. I wasn't in control yet to be able to watch it or listen to it and not have it affect my mood. Certain movies I won't see. Certain people I won't be around. People that I love. I won't be around them because I'm not just there yet, because if they start being around me, I'm not there yet to not allow their energy to affect me. Right? So some people are going to be pissed off that you don't want to be around them no more, that you don't want to talk to them no more. But understand, you have to put yourself first. How you feel is the most important thing. Okay? Because once you gain control of how you feel, you will then be able to predict your future. And that was an exciting thought to me, because if I feel good in this moment, and I'm going to attract other good feeling thoughts in this moment, and I learn to remove limiting beliefs and focus on the light in the world, then I'm only going to see more of that. So the future is just really a series of right now. So right now, how do you feel? Good. Right now, how do you feel? The next moment, how do you feel? The next moment a month from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now. So if I can control how I feel at all times in any given moment, then in essence, I can predict my future. And so can you. Okay? In closing, we're going to review this once again. The first law of the universe, the law of mentalism. Okay, that's the most important law. That's why I spent damn near an hour talking about it. This one is a little bit shorter. The law of correspondence. As above, so below. There's harmony between the spiritual, mental, and physical plane. Everything is connected. Right? Stop compartmentalizing and tackle those areas that we're weak in. Compartmentalizing is just a defense mechanism to keep us from dealing with uncomfortable things. Okay? We got family members that do certain things. We're like, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm just going to focus on this part of them. Right? We need to deal with the entirety of the piece. Right? And you're allowed to do it as you're able to develop the muscle for it. Okay? Any other way I can say this? Right? Control your focus point of attention. That's key. Stand guard to your mind. Right? Positive on the left, negative on the right. They don't move. Only thing that can move is you. Where are you giving your attention? Okay? If I have a plant, we talked about this in the last video, and I put it in a closet and close the door and don't give it the light and love and attention and the focus that it needs, what happens? It dies. The same holds true. If there's negativity in my life and I stop giving it attention, it dies. Okay? It's still there, but it can't affect me because my focus point, my attention is somewhere else. To the left, to positivity, to light, love, praise, gratitude, generosity, all those uplifting, encouraging, inspiring, feel-good, aspiring thoughts, words, phrases. I'm only going to attract more of that. Okay? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, please leave it in the Facebook post or on the YouTube, wherever you see this. Feel free to hit me up. lifestrategymeetup@gmail.com, one word. If you want to just be around some positive, like-minded people and you're in the Los Angeles area. Otherwise, you can just send me an email. Any questions, concerns, thoughts, anything. All right? We're all here together. I love you just as much as I love myself. Okay? Have a good one. Peace.